with. It sort of combines Chinese and traditional Southern way of cooking that I learned at home. And one of the things that you can choose between is green cabbage and white cabbage. Of course, white cabbage is almost all white, like the inside of this, and then green cabbage has some green color to it. And the most important thing about picking out cabbage is to pick out cabbage that's tender. And if you can take your thumb and if it goes easily, sort of in a pop, then it's tender. So I'm just going to use half a head today, and we need to take out the core. Very simple recipe. Just cut out the core, throw that away, and then just very coarsely chop it up like this. And that's ready to go. Now, let's go to the stove where I have a hot wok already ready. Because I'm using a really high temperature, let's use canola oil, not olive oil, another oil that has a higher smoke point. Canola, peanut, safflower, and just a little bit, doesn't take much. Swirl it in the wok, see it's starting to smoke, and then put in the cabbage. Stir it up a little bit. So really what you do now is you're just stir frying the cabbage. But the point of all this is to create just a little bit of caramelization on the leaves, much like we did on the peppers for the hot sauce. And it helps that if you add just a little bit of sugar, just a pinch of sugar like that. We can go ahead and add black pepper. That's great. And then just keep it moving around until you see a little bit of color start to develop. See some color right there? It doesn't take much to really impart another dimension of flavor to the dish. I think cabbage is really an underused, unappreciated vegetable. It's always available, it's always good, quick, easy, and it's delicious, and it's good for you. So you see those little flecks of dark that are coming into it?
The sugar?
That's the sugar, but it's just the heat of the wok. The sugar helps it to brown. Did you get out the wok lid that's on the sink? Alright, now that's enough caramelization, enough color. So at this point, add maybe a third of a can of chicken stock, and then slap the lid on really fast. When you add things to a wok, you usually add it around the edge so that it gets hot as it goes in. Put on the lid. And how long it cooks depends on how tender the cabbage is. This is very tender. It shouldn't take more than a minute. All right. In this cup, this is another sort of Chinese part of the process. In this cup I have about a heaping teaspoon of cornstarch dissolved in cold water just to make a slurry. And when this is finished cooking, I'll add this so that the liquid in the cabbage is just thick enough to coat it instead of just being watery and running. And that'll add flavor because it carries on the vegetable better. And really, as soon as the top of the wok is good and hot, it's probably ready. Something that I think is sort of peculiar to my family is that they did not overcook vegetables in the way that Southern cooking has a reputation for doing. Some people put on cabbage and cook it for hours. And
I prefer the little raw, not raw, but not overcooked.
I always like to have some texture. So let's see how much liquid we have in the pan. Not very much, but it's quite thin. So I'm just going to add a couple tablespoons of that. As soon as it boils, it thickens. Let's see what that does to the
You can already see it.
The sauce.
Yeah.
Now then, let's taste it. Grab a piece. A little bit of salt.
It's tender.
It's tender, but they've still got a bite to it. And that's ready.
Okay.
Here is our snow day lunch that we just cooked. We have potato cakes, we have fried ham with gravy, we have cooked cabbage, we have crowder peas, we have onions to go with the crowder peas, and hot sauce to go with everything.
Okay.
So let's serve our plates and have some lunch. Do-si-do.
Voila.
Time to eat. Great. Need a knife.
Really is good.
That ham is really, really good.
It's really good.
Really good.
Put a little hot sauce on the tater cake.
Tater cake's really good. Crunchy on the outside, the onion gets done inside. It's delicious.
And cabbage is wonderful.
Cabbage is good. Try these crowder peas. Some onion on top. That is so good. It's so earthy. Wonderful texture.
You never have enough onion on it. It's good.